space-facing side. A correction, the Prashal node module is attached to the multipurpose laboratory module on the Earth-facing side as well. The Prashal module is the multi-port node module. That's where MS-27 currently resides, and that is the ride home for Sergey Ryzhikov, Johnny Kim, and Alexei Zabritsky 2 weeks in about 2 weeks on December 8th, when they undock from that module and land on the steppe of Kazakhstan several hours later. We're about 26.5 minutes away from our anticipated docking. The fly around to the station soon to begin, about 6 minutes from now.
DPO retrograde burn confirmed. Copy.
Less than 1,000 meters separating the Soyuz from the station, closing at a rate of 2.7 meters per second. Those values are seen in the lower left-hand corner of this external cross-haired camera view from Soyuz.
DPO is off. The range is 830 meters and range rate inaudible. Copy. DPO activation is confirmed for braking.
A good view through the solar arrays on the International Space Station as the Soyuz completes what is called Impulse 6, another in the series of mid-course correction burns.
Range rate 1.6. Copy.
The two spacecraft about to pass off the northeastern coast of Brazil, moving from southwest to northeast, soon to cross the equator in an orbit inclined 51.6 degrees to either side of the equator, about 3 minutes away from the beginning of the fly-around of the station by the Soyuz.
Copy that. Can you do contracts on that? Дальность 500 метров.
Range is 500 meters.
The fly around soon to begin will do so at a distance of about 400 meters between Soyuz and the International Space Station, aligning the Soyuz with the Roscosmos module on the Earth-facing side of the orbital outpost. And we now have confirmation that the Soyuz has begun its fly around of the station. This is a 50-degree fly around of the International Space Station. This will last about 5.5 minutes or so, aligning the Soyuz with the Roscosmos module. 360 meters separating Soyuz from station, closing at a rate of about 0.9 meters per second.
1 meter. Copy.
Once the fly around is complete, there will be a very brief period of station keeping, enabling the flight controllers of the Russian Mission Control Center outside of Moscow to confer, make sure they're happy with the alignment of the forward docking probe on the MS-28 spacecraft before final approach is initiated.
Sergey, our recommendation is to expand display 4.4 and also please monitor the parameters. Copy.
The Soyuz about halfway through its fly around. No issues being reported. The Corps' automated rendezvous system is holding steady. Good luck with the comparable system at the receiving end on the International Space Station.
Range is 260 meters, range rate 0.3. Copy. Sunset on course set 1 is confirmed. Scanning confirmed. Copy. Acquisition confirmed. Copy. Range 223 meters and range rate is 0.2. K-15 confirmed. Final approach confirmed. Copy. We're monitoring the roll maneuver. Copy. The station keeping an approach corridor confirmed. Copy. We're not going to install the diffusing screen. Copy. And we'll activate the periscope lights. We are now preparing S-17 command. Once the headlight is on, you'll go for the reach-out final approach command. Moscow, we are ready to send the final approach command, and your go.
And the Russian flight controllers now confirm that the fly-around is complete and good. Station keeping has begun. Again, this will be very brief.
Time when the approach command was issued. Copy.
And final approach now underway.
Final approach. And you're now on page 54. Copy. Page 54. And please expand format 44 or display 44. Range 19.
This will be a rather slow ballet in its final phase between the Soyuz and the station. At the time of docking, just a few minutes from now, the Soyuz will be traveling and closing in on the station at a rate of about 1/10 of a meter per second. A good view of the Soyuz crossing the West Sahara.
Range 160, range rate 0.83. Range 140, range rate 0.84, and we're seeing the object at the center of the periscope screen. Copy.
Beautiful close-up view of the Soyuz vehicle flying over Western Africa.
0, range rate 0.55. Copy.
100 meters separating Soyuz from the Rosviet module, closing at about 0.5 of a meter per second.
When you're at the range of less than 47 meters, please monitor the bucket and internal transfer system parameters, and the range is not able. Copy. Range is 80, range rate 0.35.
70 meters in closing. 0.3 of a meter per second is the rate of closure. Everything lined up and looking good.
Range 70 meters, range rate 0.28. Range is 60 and range rate is 0.22, 0.23 correction. Copy.
A good rate of closure reported by the Russian flight controllers in Korolyov.
Is at the center.
About 50 meters separating Soyuz from station.
Range is 15 meters and range rate 0.19.
Range is 47 meters, the 7, the 9, 13, 17, 11. This is on format 44.
And at a distance of 40 meters from the station, the Soyuz docking system has now been activated.
Page.
Shortly after the contact and capture, the docking probe will be retracted to bring the two docking interfaces flush against one another, initiating the closure of hooks on both sides of the docking interface to form a hard mate.
Range is 40. Range rate is 116.
The Soyuz 260 miles over the Straits of Gibraltar.
Range is 30 meters. Range rate is 0.14. All right. We are standing by for Baza AR for the antenna to close. Copy.
A great picture of the soon to be arriving Soyuz MS-28, and on the right side of your screen is the Soyuz MS-27, which will be departing the station on December 8th with Johnny Kim, Sergey Ryzhikov, and Alexei Zabritsky headed for a parachute-assisted landing on the steppe of Kazakhstan.
The antenna is retracted at the range of 25 meters and unintelligible on format 44. The target is in the center of the periscope and the crosshairs are aligned.
Less than 20 meters now separating Soyuz from its destination.
Range is 15 and range rate is 0.12 for final approach.
At the top of your screen is the docking port on the Rosviet module with the crosshair docking target just below it. "13 meters separating Soyuz from station, closing at the expected rate of 1/10 of a meter per second.
Unintelligible is 12. Range rate is probably 0. Unintelligible. All right. On an IPU-1, you have the SSVP mode, the docking and transfer system activation.
We're standing by for contact and capture. Contact and capture.
Contact is confirmed at...
Docking confirmed at 6:34 a.m. Central Time, 7:34 a.m. Eastern Time, as the Soyuz and the station flew 260 miles over Slovenia.
Mechanical capture confirmed. Copy.
The Expedition 73 crew has 3 new mouths to feed on this Thanksgiving Day. A flawless rendezvous, and again docking confirmed at 6:34 a.m. Central Time, 7:34 a.m. Eastern Time.
All right, we are standing by for the O2 tank's pressure. The pressure is in tank 1 is 102. In number 2 is 248. Prop 506. Copy. Now on page 57. On page 57, we're sending the R7 command to have the wide angle.
2 Soyuz vehicles side by side on the Earth-facing ports of the Russian segment of the International Space Station. The newly arrived Soyuz MS-28 in the middle of your screen, and in the upper left-hand corner, Soyuz MS-27.
We are closing RPV-1 at 15:36:18. And we have AKG command ready. Right. 15:36:30. We sent the command for AKG monitoring, and pressure is 797 at 15:36:30 is 797. BO is 823, and in the instrumentation compartment is
the Soyuz crew reading off technical data to the Russian flight control team in Korolyov. We're waiting for the relative motion to dampen out between the Soyuz and the station before the forward docking probe is retracted to initiate the closing of hooks.
How do you copy? We read you loud and clear. So, did you write down the numbers? Yes. And monitor how the SSVP internal docking and transfer system commands go through within the next few minutes. Well, the next 5 minutes.
It was a flawless ride.
Turning off the...
From start to finish. 3 hours and 7 minutes from launch pad in Baikonur to the International Space Station, where Chris Williams of NASA and Roscosmos cosmonauts Sergey Kud-Sverchkov and Sergey Mikaev will spend the next 8 months.
Do you have the electrical connector connected?
And the forward docking probe has retracted. Hooks are now driving to form a hard mate.
Flag. Hooks are open. Gas 17. D17, D15. All right, hooks are closed. We confirm. D17, hooks closed. D15, latch is extended for D13.
And as you just heard, the Russian flight controllers confirming that hooks are closed at the docking interface between the Soyuz MS-28 spacecraft and the Roscosmos module, which you see in the center of your screen. Again, in the upper left-hand corner is the soon-to-depart Soyuz MS-27 spacecraft that will bring home Johnny Kim of NASA and Roscosmos cosmonauts Alexei Zabritsky and Sergey Ryzhikov. They will undock on December 8th, U.S. time, headed for a parachute-assisted landing on the steppe of Kazakhstan. At the time of undocking, Expedition 73's increment will formally come to an end, and Expedition 74 will begin. But today belongs to Chris Williams, Sergey Kud-Sverchkov, and Sergey Mikaev, as they executed a flawless trip to the International Space Station, launching from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan at 3:27 a.m. Central Time, 4:27 a.m. Eastern Time, 3 hours and 8 minutes later, arriving at the Roscosmos module for a perfect docking, with hooks now closed and a hard mate formed. The crews on both sides of the docking interface will begin leak checks on either side of that docking interface, setting the stage for the hatch opening and the arrival on board of the 3 Soyuz MS-28 crew members. So with that, we'll wrap up our coverage for the next couple of hours and return on the air at 9:50 a.m. Eastern Time, 8:50 a.m. Central Time for hatch opening coverage and welcoming remarks by the newly arrived Soyuz crew members. Until then, we'll sign off for now. Once again, have a happy Thanksgiving. This is Mission Control Houston.